Tonight, anti-pipeline protests ratchet up,
bringing their anger to the BC government's front door. Shows of solidarity across Canada shut down rail and block traffic. But not all First Nations agree.
I'm good. I'm so happy.
Hear from the Canadian family thrilled to be in quarantine.
Another royal split. The Queen's grandson and his Canadian wife separate.
What is the monarchy now going to look like?
Fred Van Vliet all the way from Yellowknife.
And the Toronto Raptors make history again. Kawhi who? This is the National. What started as a dispute over a natural gas pipeline in remote northern BC has erupted into protests across the country.
And they're having a serious impact, blocking trains, transit, and even the doors of the BC legislature.
All in support of the Wet'suwet'en hereditary chiefs who want the project stopped.
Wet'suwet'en lands are under attack! What will we do? Rise up, fight back!
From downtown Toronto, where protesters brought traffic to a standstill.
I'd really like to go home, and I wonder if maybe you guys would like to go home now too, to your families.
This is our home. We are home. You're on our front lawn. We'd like you to go home too, please.
To Belleville, Ontario, east of Toronto, where a standoff shut down one of the busiest rail corridors in the country.
Who do you serve? Who do you protect? Get your boots off native necks!
And in Halifax, a long line of trucks sat idle as protesters blocked access to a container terminal.
In BC today, the protesters brought their message directly to the government, blocking the doors and disrupting the speech from the throne. Tina Lovegreen takes us there.
Stand with us! Stand with us!
They crowded together to block every entrance and staircase to the building. Ministers were turned away or forced to wiggle their way with the help of police.
Everyone recognizes the importance and the right of a protest and a lawful protest, but when the very institutions of democracy are challenged in this way, I think it sets a very dangerous precedent.
Shutting this place down!
The protesters have camped outside the legislature since Friday to stand in support of the Wet'suwet'en hereditary chiefs. But despite loud voices of opposition, there are 20 elected chiefs along the pipeline route who support the project, including most elected band councils.
I support the project, and there's lots of other Wet'suwet'ens that support the project, lots of community members, but they're afraid to voice their support or show their support because of ostracization.
But still, more disruptions. In New Hazelton, CN Trails haven't budged since Thursday.
With our Wet'suwet'en brothers.
And a small group of young people in Bella Bella chained themselves to police cruisers.
No peace, no justice.
In Vancouver, this busy intersection blocked in all directions.
This is bullshit!
Some had little patience left. But after some delay, the throne speech was delivered, including a promise that reconciliation remains a top priority.
Is a matter of rights and justice. It's a journey we are on together.
But those on the streets see it differently.
There is no reconciliation.
The only way this is going to end is the RCMP leave with student.
Officers haven't left Wet'suwet'en, but the road is now clear. And Coastal GasLink says work will resume next week. Tina Lovegreen, CBC News, Vancouver.
Now, the canceled trains, the delayed shipments, they could all have a big cost. Already, we're hearing tonight that VIA is scrapping all service around the blockade until Thursday. Peter Armstrong tells us what that could mean.
The hassle and annoyance of a canceled train have a sort of cascading effect, landing many in bus stations hoping for alternative arrangements.
Got the email last night or the text last night that the train had been canceled, so last minute plans, got on a bus at 7 a.m.
Just don't have the money to afford a $500 flight right now.
More than 157 VIA trains have been canceled along some of its busiest routes between Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa, stranding more than 24,000 passengers. And the inconvenience of extra time in line is just the tip of the iceberg. 70% of freight shipped by ground in this country is moved by rail. Half of Canadian exports go by rail. so any disruption would be felt right across the country.
The CN and CP and other rail lines in this country that may be blockaded transport an enormous amount of goods. Let me say, in a very general way, over $300 billion worth a year.
Key industries are more vulnerable to a rail disruption than others. With pipeline shortages, Canadian oil companies have had to rely on rail, and that has squeezed Canadian farmers trying to ship grain to markets.
When the railways are prevented from moving, it means those goods are not getting to ports or to American destinations.
Last year's CN strike cost the Canadian economy as much as $1 billion. This disruption is more limited, but there's also no sense of when or how the trains will be able to get rolling again. Peter Armstrong, CBC News, Toronto.
And another dispute kept nearly 1 million Ontario students out of school today. Elementary school teachers staged their latest province-wide walkout. But as Sarah Levitt found, it's starting to try parents' patience.
Another week, another strike. Across Ontario today, elementary school teachers hit the picket lines. This is the second province-wide strike for elementary schools in as many weeks. Add to that ongoing rotating strikes. So far, the teachers have had a lot of support, but for some, that's starting to change.
They're using kids as leverage at this point, and it's harming them.
Gregory Groves works from home. That means strike days are almost a write-off, while his 6-year-old son, Brendan, is home. Until recently, Groves says he was 100% in support of the teachers. But when fresh talks between the union and the government broke down, he felt his loyalty waver.
Striking like this, for the reasons they're striking and holding the schools hostage and damaging our children to the point where they're losing motivation to learn, to me, seems kind of barbaric.
I can understand that they're frustrated, and we are frustrated.
Teachers know not all parents are happy, but are encouraged by the support they have found. Today, a group of parents and their kids rallied at the Ontario legislature.
People want a better quality of education for their kids, and we're willing to fight for that, even if it means being inconvenienced.
The sticking points continue to be wages and class sizes. Another, over hiring practices, has stalled negotiations further. The government is reiterating its stance, saying repeated escalation from teachers' unions is disappointing. Groves agrees.
It's so frustrating because this shouldn't happen.
Until an agreement can be reached, the union says the strikes will continue. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Toronto.
And right now, Ontario is in a dispute with all 4 of its teachers' unions. A big sticking point for high school teachers is mandatory online courses.
It just seemed like whoever had designed it didn't much know how long it would take, what a student was capable of. So it just felt like a lot of pressure was being put on you.
That is Zane Kelman, one student who has tried it. He is giving it a failing grade. The limits to e-learning later on The National.
Now to a story that's put the whole world on watch. China's death toll from the coronavirus spiked again. The death toll now more than 1,100.
This remains very much an emergency for that country, but one that holds a very grave threat for the rest of the world.
Today, the World Health Organization gave this strain of the virus a name, COVID-19, short for coronavirus disease. They avoided naming it after a country or city to avoid stigmatizing any group of people. Late tonight, we also learned there are 39 new cases on that cruise ship quarantined at a Japanese port. But the fact remains, China's Hubei province is the epicenter, with more than 2,000 new cases since yesterday. So you can imagine the relief overnight when a plane landed on Canadian soil carrying 198 Canadians who were desperate to get out of Wuhan, where the outbreak began. Ashley Burke introduces us to one family that is especially happy.
The last evacuation flight. On it, 2 people who never expected to be on board.
The last thing I heard from my wife and daughter was just a picture of them sitting in an airplane. And I'm going, yes, okay. Because until they sat on that seat, there was no guarantees from anybody that they were coming home.
No guarantees because his wife and daughter are permanent residents of Canada, but not citizens. They were visiting family in Hubei when the lockdown happened. China said only Canadian citizens or those traveling with a Canadian child could leave.
The government was very clear to me that this is a hit and miss thing. So a lot of people missed, my family hit. So I'm really happy.
How exactly Canada and China made it happen isn't clear, but Daniela and Dominica made it to Ontario.
I am good. I'm so happy.
So happy, Dominica's been singing as a thank you to everyone who helped her, from flight crew to Red Cross workers at CFB Trenton.
First meal.
They'll spend the next 2 weeks under quarantine with hundreds of other evacuees. Canada says it's out of an abundance of caution.
We decided to take this prudent approach so that we could actually ensure that those people coming from where the epicenter of the illness is are monitored carefully for symptoms.
They just like knock on the door and they just like take our temperature, like ask us if we're feeling all right.
5 days into quarantine, and Miriam LaRouche says she isn't going stir crazy yet.
Because we're not able to go outside, but it's kind of weird like being locked in a room. But I know it's for like everybody's safety, and I know I'll be out in 9 days now, so it's okay.
So far, these two are settling in just fine.
She wanted to stay here 1 month, just the 14 days.
But Gisborne is counting down the days until his family comes home at last.
Hello, how are you?
Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
So 9 more days of quarantine for the first plane load of Canadians. But in California today, 198 people were finally free.
To see them celebrate, throw their masks in the air, and to be able to hug everyone and take lots of selfies. It was really exciting.
Most of them are U.S. State Department employees and their families. Officials stressed there's zero chance any are infected and warned against revealing their identities.
Well, tonight, New Hampshire is finally doing for the U.S. presidential race what Iowa was supposed to do last week, shortening that long list of Democratic candidates vying to take on Donald Trump in the fall. This is the state's primary day, and this is where Paul Hunter is tonight. So, Paul, the results are still sort of coming in, but I guess we're getting a sense of who New Hampshire Democrats support, right?
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, the New Hampshire universe is unfolding as it was expected to. Bernie Sanders at this stage is doing well. Joe Biden, not so much. We can talk more about the specifics on numbers a little later, but I think it's probably worth talking about why New Hampshire matters, why all eyes are on New Hampshire tonight. It's a state small in population, but kind of rich in symbolism. It's all about momentum. Who's got it, who doesn't at this stage in the race. And we're getting some early hints of that with tonight with Sanders out front early on. It's also worth noting where voters' heads are at. That's what is sort of coming to the fore tonight. We went out to some polling stations today, talked to a bunch of voters, supporters for all the various candidates, and while their minds were on who they wanted to support tonight, they were also thinking hard about November. Here's a look.
Thanks for coming out.
The stakes are high, the process straightforward. Get the paperwork done, pick up your ballot, head into a booth, make your mark, and drop it in. How did you vote?
Democrat.
And who?
Bernie Sanders.
Why?
I just like his beliefs and ideals. Just felt like he's the right one.
What about November?
I'll be voting Democrat again, so honestly, whoever can beat Trump.
We heard a lot of that. Democrats who have their favorites, but for whom, in the end, that almost doesn't matter. All that does, they told us,
just getting Trump out of office. There's like no other issue. I just don't like him.
Yes, it comes from Democrats, but from those who voted today, it's undeniable.
As a person, he's morally corrupt.
And as a president?
You know, he's done a few good things, so, but...
You just want him out?
Just want him out.
But although Democrats are getting the attention, even those already deemed on the wane, make no mistake. Republican voters in New Hampshire turned out today as well. Their nominee is a certainty. Their vote, a reminder that whoever Democrats choose, there's a battle ahead.
We voted for Trump.
Why?
Because we love him. We like him. We trust him. He's doing great things.
All right, so just in terms of the latest, Paul, I guess right now we know that Andrew Yang and Michael Bennet have dropped out of the race. Bernie Sanders is leading right now. Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar in second and third. Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden are really far behind. What, as Canadians, as outsiders, what should we be making of this?
Yeah, I want to say the answer is simple, Adrian, but of course it isn't. It's nuanced. Let's look at some of the names you just ran down. I mean, at the end of the day, for Democrats, this is ultimately a choice about whether you want to go with a so-called progressive, like Bernie Sanders, or a moderate, like Joe Biden or Amy Klobuchar, or Pete Buttigieg, for that matter. One of the words that's being bandied about here tonight is clomentum, because Amy Klobuchar has moved up significantly in the early numbers tonight. But let's go back down to Joe Biden. You could say he's in deep trouble. In fact, he left the state today to go to South Carolina, where there's going to be a primary at the end of the month. So he wasn't expected to do well in Iowa nor New Hampshire, and he didn't. But he is expected to do well in Nevada and South Carolina. We'll see. Elizabeth Warren, well down the list tonight. But she said tonight in a speech early on at her headquarters here that she's in it for the long haul. So she's not going anywhere. Then you've got Klobuchar and Buttigieg fighting it out for the moderate vote already. But on top of that, Bernie Sanders, which is where he was expected to be coming out of New Hampshire. The question is, can he keep that as Americans, as we've talked a lot about, continue to be wary about democratic socialism? Is he the choice? We'll find out. But it's early days.
All right, Paul, early days indeed. Thanks very much. All 4 prosecutors have quit the high-profile case of Donald Trump ally Roger Stone today after an extraordinary move by the U.S. Justice Department. A week before Stone is due to be sentenced on charges including lying to Congress and witness tampering, the Justice Department announced it is seeking a shorter prison sentence than the original 7 to 9 years. That news came just hours after Trump complained on Twitter about the heft of the sentence. So that is raising new questions about political interference. Trump denies interfering.
I stay out of things to a degree that people wouldn't believe, but I didn't speak to him. I thought the recommendation was ridiculous. I thought the whole prosecution was ridiculous.
The Justice Department says it decided to change its recommendation before Trump weighed in. An official tells the Associated Press the initial recommendation caught some in the department off guard.
And turning back to Canada, New Brunswick has announced a major shakeup at 6 hospitals. They are canceling overnight emergency room service to expand long-term care. The province says it makes sense. Some of those affected say it leaves them vulnerable. Harry Forstell takes a look.
Folks in Sussex aren't happy. The mood in the dairy town has soured with the news the local hospital will be losing overnight emergency care. And residents want their government MLA to know they're upset.
I tell you where we need to cut. We need to start firing some politicians and government people.
The province's plan affects 6 rural hospitals that treat an average of just 5 patients a night, who now may be forced to travel up to 75 kilometers to the nearest ER. The 6 hospitals will also lose their acute care status and become chronic care centers instead.
At each of these facilities, the emergency departments will change from offering 24-hour service, 7 days a week, to operating 8 a.m. till midnight.
Health Minister Ted Fleming says it's all about adapting to changing demands.
We cannot continue to slouch towards the cliff.
That cliff is a demographic nightmare. A rapidly aging population, and where 35% of doctors and 40% of nurses will be ready to retire in the next 5 years.
Plain and simple, we just do not have enough people.
But for many, today's proposed cure is worse than the disease.
I was horrified. We're baffled and outraged that the Department of Health would drop devastating news like this on our community without consulting with the medical staff.
Liberal opposition leader Kevin Vickers is threatening to bring down Blaine Higgs's minority Conservative government if it goes ahead with the plan.
We will bring down this government at their first opportunity.
All of this leaves Conservative Premier Blaine Higgs in a tough spot. He leads a minority government, but even his own deputy premier says he can't support today's health care reforms. Harry Forstell, CBC News, Fredericton.
There is deep concern about mental health services at the University of Ottawa after another student suicide, the 5th since the beginning of last year. The school says it wants those who are struggling to reach out, but as Sandra Abma explains, Students say they have been, they're just not being heard.
If there was a simple solution, I swear to God, we would implement it tomorrow morning.
Calling it a crisis, University President Jacques Fremont pleaded with students to contact campus mental health services if they need help.
If you are struggling, if you feel you can no longer cope, please reach out.
Fremont says the school has hired more counselors to address wait times after students had demanded support following the deaths of 4 peers last year. Anxious students say they learned of the recent death in the same way they've learned of the 4 others, in a dispassionate email. Students say this shows a lack of compassion from school administration.
I feel like it's a copy-paste. Somebody died and then we send another email. There's nothing else changed.
It caused me panic attacks. It caused me severe anxiety, and I'm at the limit. I'm done.
Alexander Skwarchuk says when she needed it, help wasn't easy to find.
I've called people. I've went in person. I've went online. I went to countless doctors to just screaming for help in one of the worst times of my life, and nobody is around.
And the problem stretches beyond the University of Ottawa. The University of Toronto lost 4 students in 2 years to suicide.
It's definitely widespread, it's definitely a crisis, and it is something that students and the Canadian Federation of Students is asking and demanding to be addressed now.
This third-year Ottawa geology student says the university is still not doing enough and started a petition calling for more improvements.
They want to see something done. They don't want people to keep suffering and to keep feeling this way, and nobody should fight it alone, and we all want change. We all need these resources.
So far, 28,000 signatures and counting. Sandra Abma, CBC News, Ottawa.
Well, all this week on The National, we're having a conversation about mental health. More men die by suicide than women in Canada.
I didn't even really realize that I was trying to man up or trying to be tough.
Tonight, a story of survival and one man's determination to help others get the help they need.
First, though, a royal show of solidarity. After news, the Queen's grandson is divorcing his Canadian wife.
Fred Van Vliet.
Wow. And a slam dunk for Canadian history. The Raptors defy the odds again.
Are we kind of at a Kawhi Leonard who moment now?
We're back in 2.
Welcome back. The British royal family has been dealt another blow. The Queen's grandson announced he is splitting from his Canadian wife. Aaron Collins now on what it means for a monarch already plagued by negative headlines.
Splashed across London's tabloids, news that another royal couple won't be living happily ever after. This time, it's the Queen's eldest grandson and his Canadian wife who've split. Peter Phillips, the son of Princess Anne, married Autumn Kelly in 2008. The two met in Kelly's hometown of Montreal, but there were early signs that adjusting to a royal life wasn't easy, apparent in this CBC interview from 2016.
It's taken some time. It wasn't seamless at first, but I've had some people in the family who have guided me and helped me through it, told me what to wear and when to wear it.
But the Phillips life isn't entirely regal. As non-working royals, they pay their own way.
我是 Peter Phillips.
A fact that had Peter hawking milk on Chinese TV.
This is what I drink.
The couple has confirmed the split, asking for privacy for themselves and their two daughters.
For the Queen, this is about more than the divorce of her grandson, 15th in line for the throne. It also adds to the growing sense that the royal family is fraying at the edges.
This is, after all, just the latest news to take some of the sheen off the royals. In January, Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle decided they wanted out, choosing to step away from their royal duties and live part-time in Canada. Prince Andrew has also stepped away from public life, sullied by his friendship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Now this, and royal watchers say none of it helps the royal brand.
It's forcing the institution to look at itself, to reassess its future. What is the monarchy now going to look like now that we're 3 senior royals down?
Those senior royals were out in public today, an attempt to show solidarity during tough times, or perhaps, after another tough day, a need to show they're still standing. Aaron Collins, CBC News, London.
Now to some other stories we are following across the country tonight. The Saskatchewan government says an estimated 1.2 million liters of oil leaked after a CP train derailed last week. The train jumped the tracks southeast of Saskatoon early Thursday morning, prompting the evacuation of about 85 residents from the area. Officials say a significant portion of the crude was burned off, but this was the second major oil spill in the area in 2 months. Alberta's government is ramping up the rhetoric around Ottawa's looming decision on the proposed Tech Frontier oil sands project.
If this prospective $20 billion investment is killed because of politics in the Liberal caucus room, it will send a chilling effect to global investors about the security of investing in this country.
Premier Jason Kenney says there's no reason to justify denying the massive proposed oil sands project north of Fort McMurray. The federal cabinet has until the end of the month to make a decision.
Well, today it was elementary schools. Later this week, high school teachers in Ontario walk off the job. So next, a look at one of the reasons why it's happening, the debate over mandatory online classes.
And later, a terrifying ride to school, all caught on video. How did this happen? We'll be right back.
Back now to the labour dispute that is keeping Ontario students out of class. One of the issues in the province's dispute with high school teachers is mandatory e-learning. It will start this fall for those entering grade 9. Deanna Sumanek-Johnson spoke with a student who tried it and found it did not make the grade.
Last semester in my computer programming course.
Living in a small town near Kingston, Ontario, Zane Kalman was initially excited about e-learning. Online courses gave him access to subjects not offered in his small high school, like writer's craft or computer coding. The reality was different.
Workloads, I think, that were really unfair, and teachers that didn't really understand the course material, so they weren't much help when you tried to communicate with them.
I'm getting this email from your teacher.
Zane's mom, Angela, worries what will happen to her 3 younger sons when e-learning becomes compulsory this fall. She says it will mean hours-long access to computers that students might not have.
We do have a computer at home, but it's certainly not dedicated to his use. And internet service is an issue. We have limited bandwidth where we live. It's expensive.
Important links are on the side, the exam.
Toronto teacher Behan Farhadi has studied the effects of e-learning on students for her PhD.
I would say for the average student who really benefits from having a teacher ask them a question about their learning, recognize and getting the data from their answer, and then filling the gaps in their knowledge. Like, that takes a specialist.
While compulsory e-learning experiment has never been done in Canada before, 5 U.S. states have some e-learning requirements with varying results. What makes a difference, says this expert, is whether it's properly funded.
There are good e-learning environments and good e-learning teachers. The key is essentially how we design, deliver, and support the instruction, regardless of the environment.
A spokesperson for Education Minister Stephen Lecce told CBC News, "We are proceeding with developing and implementing a Made in Ontario program that will ensure student flexibility, technological literacy, and a vast selection of courses." What that means for Ontario families like the Kalmans is still unclear. For now, they're walking towards the future of learning that is full of promises and big unknowns. Deanna Sumanek-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
And next on The National, the power of opening up about mental health.
It's like, oh, wait a minute, hold on now. Like, this person's like me. I can do this. I can reach out for help.
You'll meet one man who used his own struggle and story of survival to encourage others to speak up.
And later, a new twist in the case against Jussie Smollett, the actor accused of faking a hate crime. We're back after this.
On an average day in this country, 11 people die by suicide. That's about 4,000 deaths a year, and it's mostly men. They have a suicide rate about 3 times that of women. This week, the National is having a conversation about mental health, including some of the barriers to getting help. Tonight, David Common introduces us to a man who's using his own story of despair and survival to help other men reach out themselves.
That was a really tough time. And I just felt like I kind of had to give up. Like I felt like I was just like putting myself out of my misery.
It's a strange thing to drive over the bridge you once jumped off of. More than 9 stories straight down.
I got to the point where I just understood that I was sick, but I didn't understand that that feeling wasn't permanent. I got to the point where I thought suicide was inevitable. And then once it was inevitable in my mind, then I was just living and suffering until I did it.
That Josh Bahari did and survived is incredible. And while in hospital, he realized a part of him still wanted to live.
I had broken like 6 ribs. I had 5 hairline fractures in like the wing part of my vertebrae. Like several mild brain contusions. But in there, I kind of got a glimpse of like what it felt like to be normal again, because the emotions lifted for like a little bit. And that was like the first time I felt anything positive in months.
That feeling fueled his desire to do what he's doing now, helping others like him emerge from what began slowly for Josh a decade ago.
My thoughts were getting really negative. I was tired all the time. I wasn't sleeping well. I had like, my muscles just felt weak and I just felt drained, like I had no energy. And then once like I couldn't sleep anymore, that's when it was like impossible for me to hide what was going on.
Yet Josh still didn't get help, didn't talk to friends about what was going on. Like most men, he stayed quiet.
I didn't even really realize that I was like trying to man up or trying to like be tough, but it was just like, it was just a part of me, like, oh, I have to figure this out on my own. I have to solve this, you know? And I can't ask for help. I don't want to. So we have one news story I just got submitted for us. I'll be reviewing that.
Having survived his suicide attempt, Josh is intent on ending the stigma and helping others. Josh joined up with Dr. John Ogrodnichuk, a psychiatry professor at UBC, to work on Heads Up Guys, a website dedicated to helping men deal with mental health issues. Josh even shares his own story on the site.
Josh brings a lot of elements to the table. Even more profoundly, he brings his lived experience, and that is so crucial to making sure that what we're putting out there as far as a helping resource really speaks to the men who are going through what he went through. Men have a really high suicide rate, and it's about 3 to 4 times higher than that among women, and not just in Canada or North America, but really globally we're seeing this phenomenon. So we wanted to address that.
Although men die by suicide at a higher rate, when it comes to seeking help, they're much lower.
A lot of guys feel alone in their experience of depression and suicidal thought, so we want to break that down and say this is actually pretty common among men. You're not alone.
Since its launch 5 years ago, there have been 1.5 million visits to the site. The key words on how men find Heads Up Guys illustrate the stakes.
Every day we're getting more and more email from visitors, some very impactful, profound messages. You know, one that really sticks out in my mind, it was very succinct, and it said, "I just read your article about suicide, pretty sure it just saved my life. Thank you for giving me hope."
One of those men is high-end bartender Julian Dobko, who saw himself reflected on the Heads Up site.
You can read these stories of these guys, and you might even realize a lot of them are like you. And when you see yourself, it's like, oh, wait a minute, hold on now. Like, this person's like me. I can do this. I can reach out for help. I can stand up, and I think too, when you see somebody on there standing up and being strong, and you think, oh, I'm weak, but wait a minute, but I think they're strong. Maybe I'm strong if I come out. And that's sort of how it happened for me.
Coming out of the shadows and asking for help, a good reminder of the barriers stopping men like Julian from talking to anyone about mental well-being. Josh's own recovery has been gradual. Nothing is a quick fix, and healing comes with periodic setbacks. But he feels he's on the right path, and he's more comfortable talking. He wants all men to feel that same openness.
The main thing that I want guys to know, there's no like point where it's just like there's no turning back, you know? Like I got to the point where I thought there was no turning back, and somehow I'm still here and I'm doing better.
He's traveling regularly, snapping photos along the way, all part of an extraordinary journey, one playing out inside his own mind. David Common, CBC News, Vancouver.
Coping with mental health issues can be even harder when people are also dealing with addiction, and in a system that experts say isn't really set up to deal with such complex needs. As Bonnie Allen shows us, one Regina mother says her son has been falling through the cracks since he was a teenager.
It's terrifying as a mother because you love your kid so much.
Pam Sanderson is so worried about her son, she's flying from Regina to Victoria. That's where 23-year-old Keith Cathcart wanders the streets. He has mental health issues and he's addicted to crystal meth and heroin, wasting away from this to this.
I get those phone calls in the middle of the night where he's terrified. He's outside, he's freezing.
She's scared for her son's safety and the safety of others.
I think, what if he hurts somebody? And I've done everything in my power to try and bring attention to the fact that he needs help. He would cuddle with me, and I mean, he's just such a sweetheart.
Cathcart was born extremely premature with a cognitive disability. As a teen, he got into fights and spiraled into a life of drugs. He was in and out of jail and treatment. Mental health issues escalated. Cathcart would frequently slide into a psychosis.
He has hurt me on several occasions, threw a knife at me and it hit the wall, thank God. Punched me in the face when I was driving down the highway.
Studies show as many as half of people who experience a mental illness also have an addiction, and as many as 3/4 of people in drug treatment facilities also have a mental disorder. Finding a way to care for them is both challenging and controversial.
A certain number of them should be institutionalized for their own protection and their safety. This comes from a place of compassion. It's not a desire to see people locked away and forgotten about.
They want independent living, but they also need some supports in daily living.
This therapist says mental institutions, hospitals, and jails are not the answer.
I think we have to think outside the box. We have to be creative around this is a very high needs and very highly vulnerable population that is not getting service.
Sanderson planned her trip to Victoria with high expectations, hoping to arrange supportive housing and services for her son. But she doesn't even get to see him. Cathcart punched a worker at a youth shelter before she arrived and landed back in jail. And another surprise, there's a no-contact order from 2018 that prohibits Cathcart from even seeing his mother. It's from the last time he assaulted her, but she wants to see him.
I went in there, they shut me down. It hurts. He stole my son, no matter what he does, and no matter how sick he is.
Now they can't even talk on the phone. Sanderson heads home, feeling helpless. Bonnie Allen, CBC News, Regina.
Now, if you are concerned about your own mental health or someone else's, you should know that help is available. You can call or text Crisis Services Canada and Kids Help Phone, or visit them online.
All right, time for a quick break, but when we come back.
Takeaway over the shoulder, Hollis Jefferson.
There they go, the Raptors defy the odds and the skeptics to make history again. And that's with some of their best on the sidelines. Welcome back. By chance, too busy to keep up with the Toronto Raptors? No worries. Here's a quick recap for the past month. Basically, they won. The Raps are on fire, even with some of their best players out with injuries. 15 games straight. That is a new Canadian record, and not just for basketball. And the fans, they're pretty good with that. We sent Ellen Morrow out to gauge the excitement.
Game 7 of the quarter.
For this year's Toronto Raptors, it's no Kawhi, no problem.
Throws it down.
Play after play punctuated by gravity-defying dunks.
Up top, OG.
And shots from beyond, way beyond the arc.
All the way from Yellowknife.
We're doing something cool not only for ourselves, but, you know, for Canada, for Toronto.
Lowry, a pocket for the lead.
Cool may be an understatement. The Raptors now hold the longest winning streak in Canadian pro sports history, eclipsing the previous record set by the Calgary Stampeders.
It's just about every single day coming in and taking every game like one at a time.
Lowry is down.
All the while battling through injuries, key players sidelined, and yet second in the Eastern Conference.
Finds OG again.
The Raptors boast 2 all-star players, Pascal Siakam and Kyle Lowry, and Nick Nurse will coach in the All-Star game this weekend. All that success despite a key departure.
Are we kind of at a Kawhi Leonard who moment now?
I think we are.
Jay Rosales co-hosts a Raptors podcast. Even in the winter, he met us on the court.
How good does it feel to be a Raptors fan right now?
This team is a lot more fun to watch than last year's team. Last year there was the where is Kawhi going to sign after? This year it's just fun. It is constant reminders of we have the heart of a champion.
And for Toronto kids with hoop dreams, it's all the inspiration they need.
I want to be one of them when I grow up.
I want the Raptors to win a second time because the first time that was their first ever championship.
15
The
straight.
skeptics said they couldn't do it again, but maybe, just maybe, that back-to-back championship isn't so elusive after all. Ellen Morrow, CBC News, Toronto.
We're following several other stories tonight, including charges laid against American actor Jussie Smollett. The former Empire star was indicted by a special prosecutor today on 6 counts of disorderly conduct. He is accused of lying to investigators when he complained he was the victim of a racist, homophobic attack in Chicago last January. Police say Smollett orchestrated the whole thing, paying 2 acquaintances to stage the incident in the hopes it would make him more famous. And dramatic video just released by Ohio police shows a school bus crash from the inside. Now, warning, this could be a bit hard to watch, but it's important to know none of the injuries on the bus were life-threatening. Okay, well, that's horrifying. The accident happened in December. A Ford Mustang ran a red light and hit the bus. The bus went off the road, flipping on its side, sending those kids flying. After the crash, everyone managed to get off the bus safely.
Wow. Okay, time for a quick break. We will be right back with The Moment. Tonight, it's one of the hottest tickets in Nova Scotia for a dinner unlike any other. That's next. Well, these folks are not having a picnic on the beach. They are dining on the ocean floor in Nova Scotia, on the bottom of Cobequid Bay. Now, foodies flock there from all over the world, hoping to experience eating at the site of the world's highest tides. But only a handful of tickets are available, and this year they sold out in just 2 minutes. That's our moment.
It's a 6-hour experience, and it really is about showcasing the park and the world's highest tides. We serve a 3-course dinner down on the ocean floor. We only have 100 seats, so it's very limited, in terms of how many seats we can offer. All of our bookings are done over the phone by a person. We don't do anything online, and we purposely choose to do it that way so that we have a personal connection with our guests. The phone wasn't ringing. And I thought, okay, this is really weird. It was because the phone lines were jammed. So we waited until the second minute to 10:02 to check the voicemail. She said there's 87 voicemails. We had hundreds of calls, and we make a guarantee that we'll call everyone back. 87% of the bookings we took this year are first-time visitors to Nova Scotia. It's about showcasing local food, and we do local even on the ocean floor.
And so what does an experience like that cost, you might ask? Well, apparently the first year they charged $300 a couple. They didn't really turn much of a profit, so they jacked up the price to $1,300 a couple this year. They still don't think that's high enough, given demand, how quickly they sold it.
Well, lucky them. So we checked to see, 2 minutes, that's really fast. How long does it normally take to sell out? It normally takes a week to sell out, so 2 minutes is incredible. But I maybe it's because I'm tired or hungry. I would like to be there now, if that's all right.
You can try to make that happen.
We can. That is a national for February 11th. Good night.
Good night.